Well, everybody, welcome to the program. We have Carl Zaw on with us as well. Carl, welcome to the program. I'm just going to back out of my music here that we were getting everybody pumped up with. How you doing, Carl?
How are you, Alex?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Okay, we'll just kill the music here. Tell the audience, where have you been? What's going on with you?
I haven't gone anywhere, Alex, since our last rendezvous on the Great Wall of China.
Right.
I have been in Bali. Well, I returned to the United States to reunite with my parents, but now I'm back in Bali with my family. I have two very young children, so I'm not going anywhere. I would very much like to travel to China as soon as my second born is a little bit older, maybe after he's 2 years old. And
what a great update, everybody. This is a impromptu live stream, and I just want to tell you guys what's going on here. I think we're seeing, modern day intellectual property theft. I mean, this proposed ban, or as we call it, like a forced sale of TikTok, is really representing an alarming precedent of intellectual property theft, to my knowledge, Carl, in broad daylight. And, forcing a foreign-owned company to sell its assets under what Trump would say is national security, to me, is a clear violation of free market principles and international trading norms. Now, if the U.S. government claims to be the champion of innovation and fair to the global economy, then how does this really justify the principles? And that's what I really kind of brought you onto the program to help us out with. So your thoughts? I think it's modern day robbery in broad daylight. I think it's forced transfer of intellectual property. This just screams World Trade Organization. This screams patent infringement. It screams everything. Let's hear from you, Carl.
Well, I think that's a combination of a lot of factors. One, as we know, Meta, Google, they are facing tough competition from ByteDance TikTok. TikTok is eating their lunch. They're, who uses Facebook anymore? I certainly don't. Facebook rendered their app totally unusable in the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, like, Mark Zuckerberg now is coming on and say, "Oh, we're going to get rid of our content moderation team. We're going to relax our censorship." Nobody buys that. I'm not going to go back to Facebook. 170 million Americans uses TikTok. That's half the U.S. population, and the U.S. politicians just decide to give a fat middle finger to all of them. But one is because of money, because it is a competition for Google and Meta. So Facebook has been lobbying hard. They've spent millions, if not tens of millions of dollars to lobby members of Congress for the ban. Two is censorship. We know, compared to the other platform, TikTok allowed young people to protest about Palestine. And this is an area where private groups like ADL and APAC really didn't like that. I mean, the ADL president was on record of saying, "This is a battlefield we have to win. We have to take control of TikTok because TikTok is functioning like Al Jazeera on drugs." So there are those people who also want to take TikTok offline, and then it's those national security elite. They have always had a hate boner for China, for China, and this is their because for them, they just wanted to. They just can't stomach. I think it also stems from kind of the American primacy mindset. They can't just stomach a Chinese company, the most successful social media company in the United States, capturing a huge segment of the youth population. They will not allow that. So the thing is, Trump. So Trump, when he did his victory speech, he said TikTok is back. Well, actually, not quite, because the U.S. Congress passed a law, and you can't. You can only have the Congress to pass another law to annul it. But I don't think that's going to happen, because majority of the Congress passed the law, and Trump only has the presidential executive power to delay the actual ban. So that's what Trump did. He at first he promised he will delay the ban for 90 days to allow the forced sale of TikTok. But when I look at his signed presidential executive order on Monday, it's actually only 75 days. So Trump is also playing hardball here. So first they come out with a ban, and then depress the value of TikTok, because like I said, if they ban it, TikTok in US will go to zero. And so now they're trying to sweep in to lowball or offer, probably, because O'Leary is coming up with, like they say, tens of billions of dollars. But Trump himself said TikTok is worth $1 trillion. So but they're not coming up with 500 billion, because Trump said he won a 50-50 joint venture. The United States own 50% of TikTok. So Trump is going to try to do his normal business deal kind of thing. We're going to have to see what happens. This is going to be interesting, because they did invite the CEO of TikTok to attend Trump's inauguration.
I think, you make some very good points here. The world is watching this blatant overreach. I mean, these actions really do, in my mind, tarnish the U.S. reputation for the defenders of free enterprise. I mean, TikTok has pretty much become the cornerstone of all digital marketing for countless small and medium-sized companies in the United States, to the tune of almost 7 million businesses. 170 million people, are active users on this program. TikTok is used for, connecting audiences in many different ways. Traditional platforms no longer really facilitate that. As you were saying, with the likes of Facebook, you saw Mark Zuckerberg come up and pretty much in a desperation technique say, well, we overreached. We're going to do a 180. We're going to go back the other way, and we're going to change it up. It's quite interesting. I did want to say a big shout out to everybody that is joining our platforms here. We do say a big shout out to all of Carl's people coming in from X. Nice crowd coming in there, and we've surpassed the 1,000 viewer marks, and Carl's site as well. And we will get our iChongqing YouTube channel going up here a little bit more. There seems to be a glitch in one of the links here, but we'll get that going, no problem. That's in the back of StreamYard. But anyway, over 1,000 viewers so far. That's great. I want to continue on with TikTok. It's small businesses that really rely on this platform. I mean, if you're new to music, you have to use this platform, or you're pretty much irrelevant. And I think a lot of people, and remember, people are describing TikTok USA like it is TikTok USA invented in the United States of America. This is a subsidiary of ByteDance. The parent company of this, Douyin here in China, is a massive, I would say, social media platform over here, which dwarfs the size of the one in the United States. I think it comes down to, Carl, people have lost faith in U.S. platforms. American users flocked to TikTok because they really felt alienated by places like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Before I started the show today, I saw somebody say, did Alex take down some of his content on YouTube? Has Alex really was geopolitical? Let me tell you what happened about 3.5, 4 months ago. And this drives people like me to other platforms. YouTube, prior to the election season and stuff in the Middle East as well, they pretty much went to any channel that was geopolitics that they didn't like. Didn't matter if it was 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year of you putting your channel together, putting your life on it. And they pretty much said, no warning, not one warning, two warning, three warnings like they give, the 3 strikes you're out rule. They just went and obliterated a pile of geopolitics, which was a shocker until Jeffrey Sachs stood up for all of us here on YouTube and said to YouTube, what the H is going on, guys? What are you guys doing? And with a 180 from YouTube, all of a sudden these channels were back up. And these were some major channels. Of course, Alexander Christoforou from the Duran was given a warning. There's a lot of nervous people out there. Danny Haifong was quite nervous about it. If you had guests on like... I won't go into the names, but anyway, it was
Scott Ritter. Scott Ritter. They got him.
It was the guy, Carl. It was the Iranian professor. Yeah, and that was really clobbering, really clobbering.
Well, anytime I was talking about Middle East on my channel, my video get automatically demonetized. It's not like I don't think even I don't think he even went through like a human moderation. It's just like automatic. I think like AI, anytime it detects the words like Palestine, Israel, okay, I'm gonna demonetize you. And then when I appeal, I used to have pretty good appeal record, but I've noticed lately they're like, nah, the AI is correct. Nah.
So, Carl, take us on to where you think. Well, first of all, I want you to talk about what we've seen here in the past week here with. Some people don't like using the word TikTok refugees, but maybe explain to the audience what really transpired and why that happened. Because a lot of people still don't understand why people downloaded a Chinese app that is in the Chinese language that they don't understand and drove it to number 1 on these platforms. Maybe take our audience through that.
Well, it's really simple. It's an act of protest because a lot of young Americans just really pissed off that U.S. government will go so far as take away a platform, a major platform where they felt their voice are being heard. And there were several viral videos on TikTok. Somebody discovered Red Note, aka Xiaohongshu, aka Little Red Book, that was available in the App Store, and they say, "Hey, wouldn't it be funny if United States is accusing TikTok of handing China our data? Wouldn't it be funny if we voluntarily go to a Chinese social media and voluntarily give our data to China? Would that be a big FU to the U.S. government?" So, I mean, a lot of people who criticizing these kids are, they're so stupid. Why would you do that? Why would you give your data to China? No, they understand exactly what they're doing. This is a big FU to the government because they are actually, you know what, in my opinion, these young people, they actually preserve the essence of being American. Being American is always about being rebels, to protect your freedom against the tyranny of your government. And these young people are the best examples of being good Americans. They are upping arms to protect their rights. They understand their First Amendment rights is being violated. But in this act of protest, something magical happened because once they went over to China, start interacting with real Chinese people online, that's when they realized, oh my God, the U.S. government had a wool pull over their eyes this whole time. They didn't even realize how much average American had been heavily propagandized against China, how much China had been demonized. So many of them have a very obscure view, shall we say, of what China is like. And when they discover China is nothing like the Western mainstream media painted out to be, they start questioning. And then when they see how average Chinese actually live their life, the average Chinese seem pretty content, pretty happy, and pretty upbeat. And that led them to question even further, what other lies their government had been telling them. It's beautiful. It's really a beautiful. I mean, I've seen friendship being formed. This is like a mass cultural exchange on a massive scale in the cyberspace. This is quite unprecedented. The the firewall coming down in 2025 was not in my bingo card, right? And then in the past, it was China that was building the Great Firewall to keep the Chinese users and the outside separated. But now it's Americans who are stampeding into a Chinese social media space. I saw a lot of these national security freaks are claiming, oh, this is obviously a Chinese propaganda effort to redirect people from TikTok to another Chinese app, RedNote. First of all, RedNote wasn't even ready for this because RedNote was designed for Chinese users only. They launched the international version mostly for the diaspora and for exchange students who live abroad.
Right.
So everything is in Chinese. All the menu is in Chinese. This is why the first wave of refugees were really confused when they first got out TikToks. Like, why is everything in Chinese? And then, but up to the RedNote engineering team, they were able to figure out in like 3 to 5 days to put in the translation feature, so made it so much easier for the cross-cultural communication. So, I know this engineers probably pull a lot of all-nighters, big up to them for making it happen. But the result is beautiful. I mean, like Alex, you and I, we have been yelling at top of our lungs in Western media platform about how amazing China is. China is nothing like this Cold War enemy that our mainstream media painted to be. Chinese people are nice and friendly and welcoming, and China has amazing culture and amazing landscape. Everyone should go visit China. But all it took, Alex, is for actual people-to-people contact.
I agree with you.
Go ahead.
I totally agree with you, Carl. And it comes as in, many are perceiving these North American platforms as over moderated, and they are algorithmically biased. They are. If you want to sway, and Mark Zuckerberg just admitted it the other day when he said, "Well, maybe we'll take the moderators off. Maybe we'll just slow it down just a little bit. Maybe we won't do, maybe we'll go to like community notes." And you saw there was even pushback by his own employees. I mean, TikTok's algorithm has really gained a lot of popularity for its ability to, I would say, delivers diverse content. I think it is almost unfiltered content. You're not going to offend anybody. I mean, when you're on TikTok, there might be people dancing. There might be people cutting up eggs and cooking. I mean, it's a variety of things here. But if you watch YouTube and you start to choose certain shorts, we'll call it will keep you in this area where it's very difficult to come out of the ecosystem. It's almost, put you in there. Now, some of these US platforms, I think, also deserve being exposed for suppressing a lot of information over the last few years here. If freedom of speech is the cornerstone of American democracy, well, then why does it seem more respected on a foreign app? You know what I'm saying? Like, people that are watching TikTok are saying, hey man, they could say everything on TikTok. And this is TikTok in the United States of America. I saw Elon Musk put out an interesting comment yesterday, and I think you responded to it. I know Daniel Dunrow responded to it, and I responded to it. When Elon said, hey man, this isn't really fair. TikTok should, why is my ex banned in China and TikTok is allowed to, carry on here? Well, I'm going to hand that to you, Carl, because I know you're going to answer this one.
Well, he actually, because Elon Musk always positioning himself as an advocate for free speech. So he prefaced that with saying, "Oh, I don't agree with the TikTok ban because I'm for free speech. But why is X? But X is not available in China. Something needs to change." Well, I agree. I say, well, fair is fair. You open up China for X. Open up American EV market for Chinese EV like BYD. I think think that's a fair trade-off. But
Yeah.
you know, like
Well, I think
these
it also comes
billionaires, they
down
always
to,
say all these.
yes, but
Go
maybe
ahead.
I don't think you missed the point, but I think maybe you will agree with me here. My initial response was, you can open up X here, no problem, as long as you follow the rules and regulations here about having your server and data here in China. Now, they might say, well, why do we have to have it in China? Because TikTok has their servers sitting in the United States of America, complying, following. You can't tell me that the American three-letter agencies don't have their finger on the button there if they need it. Give me a break. So why aren't you over here? Bing is available here in China, BBC, Fox News, whatever I want to look at, I can look at it. People say, but YouTube is banned. No, come on in, YouTube. Come on in, Google. But we have, you know, I got to tell you, China has done this right here, where they have stepped back and said, wait a minute, you can't put something like this wide open, unthrottled to 1.5 billion people, and if something goes wrong, not have the ability to hard stop it. And we have seen platforms like this get it wrong, get it wrong with the wrong message, cause panic and havoc around the world. And there's no stop button. And it's very simple. The companies that understand, that come to China, and they, of course, play by the rules, no problem. Don't think it's very hard. Prosper and benefit. It's amazing. And, you know, the ones that don't, they cry wolf. And how can they say that? How can YouTube say, we're being censored? Well, no, you guys, you have a censorship heavy strategy. I mean, you guys have to, I would say, introduce new features to regain trust in users again. It's not there anymore on these features. And I think we're seeing this pushback because it's the fears of TikTok's dominance. And this begs the question, is TikTok's innovation pushing platforms like Facebook to become more user-friendly, or fear of losing relevance, like you said before? What's your thoughts?
The Facebook strategy is paying off the congressman to ban TikTok. That's their strategy. They're pretty much giving up on competing on algorithm because the ByteDance algorithm is so good. This is what they actually worry about. They're not worried about, you know, China stealing data, because TikTok had the Project Texas. They store all their American user data in US. And to surprise of some Canadians over the weekend during the TikTok shutdown, they realized their data is not kept in Canada. I'm sorry. There's no servers in Canada to keep Canadian data. Their data is also in United States. And even some Thailand user also reported, all the users that reported problem during the outage, even if they're outside United States, and even if they're not U.S. citizens or didn't download their app in U.S., that means their data somehow is stored in those U.S. servers that got shut down over the weekend. So this is not about data. This is not about data. This is
I agree with you. You know, if TikTok is generally a national security concern, Carl, I mean, why is his fate tied to political donations and lobbying efforts rather than, you know, independence? And it's the hypocrisy is just crazy. I mean, the freedom of speech that the U.S. are often criticizing, you know, nations like China. And then here we are, they're stifling freedom of speech. You know, they're banning TikTok. They're banning something that 170 million people use actively. So, you know, it's very interesting. And let's go to some of the comments here. Here is one here. Alex, from John. Guys, don't trust Alex Reportify. He is part of the deep state. The deep state. Let me say that again. The deep state. Okay, let's read some more of these comments. Congress, we're buying Meta stock for weeks. They think Meta will get it. Okay, we got some more comments here. All right, here we go. We never had freedom of speech. Okay, let's have a look. Who else we got here? Where are the servers safe? Switzerland? Maybe. Let's see. Not banned. They didn't want to comply and left, siding with freedom fighters. You won't get fined or go to jail for I don't know, Facebook, whatever. Okay. US West will not let Euro vassals have social media apps. Congress people have investments in US social media. I believe that. I believe it.
They went out and bought Meta stock right before they banned TikTok. I mean, like, this is all public records. People on TikTok actually dig out the transaction by the U.S. congressman, show them how to keep on buying Meta stocks as they start initiating the process to ban TikTok. I mean, like, Nancy Pelosi, as we all know, is the best stock pickers in the United States. He's all the fund manager. I mean, the rest of the congressmen all the same. You know, they're great investors. Again,
we got a great turn. Carl, just so you know, we got a great turnout, over 1,700, and that's with one of our glitches here on one of our YouTubes. I'm expecting that to be fixed. StreamYard's working on it. We got almost 900 people on Twitter. You guys just keep the comments. Just pump these comments in. We'll play them. Right now, I'm going to go to one of our media assets here in the backstage, and I'm going to play you guys the clip of what Donald Trump envisions TikTok should do to itself, or what he wants to do to TikTok. Have a listen, guys.
And as of today, TikTok is back. So, you know, I did a little TikTok thing. We have a guy, TikTok Jack. He's a young kid, like 21 years old. And we hired this guy, and I went on TikTok. Can you believe what I'll do to win an election? And we went on TikTok, and Republicans have never won the young vote, the youth vote. They win a lot of votes, but they never won the youth vote. We won the youth vote by 36 points. So I like TikTok. I like it. I like it. I had a slightly good experience, would you say? Romney lost it by 40 points. Not so long ago, we won it by 36 points. That's a very big spread. But I said we need to save TikTok because we're talking about a tremendous... Who in this audience goes with TikTok? Many? Yeah, very popular. And frankly, we have no choice. We have to save it. A lot of jobs. We don't want to give our business to China. We don't want to give our business to other people. And I said, you know, TikTok without my approval, meaning the president's approval, because Congress gave the president the right to make a deal, do whatever he wants. And they did that a long time ago when they had a different president. They didn't know that I was going to be the president, I guess. So I said, very simply, a joint venture. So if TikTok is worth nothing, zero, without an approval, you know, if you don't approve, they're out of business, they're worth nothing. If you do approve, they're worth like $1 trillion. They're worth some crazy number. So I said, I'll approve, but let the United States of America own 50% of TikTok. I'm approving on behalf of the United States. So they'll have a partner, the United States, and they'll have a lot of bidders, and the United States will do what we call a joint venture. And there's no risk. We're not putting up any money. All we're doing is giving them the approval, without which they don't have anything. So, I don't know. It sounds like that works. What do you think? Good? So whether you like TikTok or not, we're going to make a lot of money.
Well, I mean, I think Tesla Gigafactory in Shanghai sounds like a good joint venture for the People's Republic of China. I think if we don't approve Teslas and they go dark here in China, it might be a good deal for Elon to do a deal. Just, hey, give us half of your company, Elon, while you're at it. And Starbucks let's do a joint venture, Starbucks. Let's 53% of the bottom line that goes to the shareholders for profits in the S&P 500 for Starbucks. Yeah, let's do a joint venture there.
Don't forget KFC, Alex. There's a KFC in every street corner in China.
Oh God, it's amazing. But why does a platform from a they always use China as a non-democratic country? I mean, it's crazy. I did recently a video, and I'm not sure if you watched it, but if you guys haven't watched it, it's called Democracy in China. It's truly staggering what I have experienced here over the last 4 months here in China, where it shows the collection with contact point officers and volunteers in every major city, in every county district around China, gathering information, making changes, putting their opinions forward, young, old, retired, mid-school students, and putting what they feel needs to be changed by laws or opinions, whether it's at the municipal or national level. It's quite extraordinary. So then you get these countries, giving us this perception of this, and I'm banging on about it, of this freedom of expression, from these U.S. tech giants. It doesn't exist. Even Elon Musk rumor of doing TikTok. Sorry, that just screams insider, Doge insider to me, guys. I mean, okay, Elon, yeah, you get first pick of the companies that we're just going to rip into question. But, why target TikTok? It's a platform that is, thriving. It's driving content. It's making people happy. I mean, what is it all about? You clearly said, Carl, it's not about the national security. Is it about protecting, keeping a monopoly on their social media platforms in general? Is this, if they do eventually ban it, is it going to be a dangerous precedent, encouraging other countries to retaliate? I would not open up a company in the United States if I saw, a multi-billion-dollar company that had 7 million people live off of it, get dragged before. I think before I hand it back over to you, how I perceived, and thanks everyone for joining. We're up to 1,900 people on the streams, and thanks so much for that. I perceived when TikTok went dark, that was a move by them saying, you know what? I don't know what happened to my camera there. I got one of these new cameras that I can adjust the thing in. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But my understanding with TikTok is when they went dark on the platform, that was them saying, you know what? We could pull out of the United States. We can clearly pull out of the US and not be concerned about it. I don't know. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, most of the American politicians, they assume, United States is the indispensable part of ByteDance global strategy. But TikTok, the biggest market for TikTok is not even US, it's Indonesia. It used to be India. India banned TikTok, so ByteDance says,
right,
okay, we'll move to Indonesia. Indonesia is now the biggest market for TikTok. Many people will be surprised to hear that. So if they take away TikTok in US, you will hurt. I mean, no doubt about that, you will hurt. But it's not lethal because there's a whole wide swath of world outside the United States, and as results show, when the news of TikTok ban leaked, what did the TikToker user do? Did they go to Instagram? Did they go to YouTube Shorts? No, they went to Rednote. They went to Xiaohongshu. And, they would have gone to Douyin if Douyin was available for download on the App Store, because I'm sure ByteDance is also watching very nervously as some of its user base is going to its rival in Xiaohongshu, aka Rednote. This is why I know they've been doing an experimenting this past weekend. They did a controlled release of allowing foreign numbers to register. So I was able to clue in that small time window when they're doing that testing. So now I have a legit Douyin account on my phone. And
awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. But I think it was a small testing period because they shut it down soon afterwards. But I think what Rednote or what Xiaohongshu is doing, it's great. You know, a lot of people were speculating, China probably going to shut it down, and because they're going to try to keep the users separated. But during a recent interview, the China's deputy foreign this is a former spokesperson of China foreign ministry that everyone is familiar with. Now the Hua, we call him Sister Hua in Chinese. I forgot her full name. But she was asked about this phenomena of TikTok to Rednote migration. Now, by the way, she's like the deputy. She's like the deputy minister, foreign minister, and she said, "I think it's great. Young people love their freedom. I think it's great." And the official Chinese state media, actually the official media of China, the Communist Party of China, People's Daily, made a commentary about this migration from TikTok.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. That is big news. I was talking to one of our chief editors about that, and she mentioned that. Maybe explain that to the audience. First of all, the People's Daily, what it means to China, what it is in China, and for them to make that statement. And cheers, everybody. We're over the 2,000 live viewer mark, and we'll keep growing here. Go ahead, Carl. Take it away on that one.
Okay. Well, technically, all the big media in China is state-owned. State media. But there's only two that's considered official state media. That's People's Daily and Xinhua, right? Xinhua, right. The new China news agency, and state media. Those are two considered the official mouthpiece of the state. And so this is a big deal. This is and they had a commentary on this migration, and they quoted President Xi. They said President Xi says that the foundation of Sino-American exchange lies in people-to-people exchange.
Wow. And
then it goes on to say, rather than calling them TikTok refugees, okay, I'm sorry, I'm skipping a couple of steps ahead. It said I'm reciting from my memory right now, because I can't. My internet is slow. I can't look it up on my translation on Twitter. It says, in this age of globalization and economic interconnectedness, we are brought closer and closer together. And rather than calling these people refugees, we should call them villagers of Earth Village. It's a very nice message. This is amazing. This is a very nice endorsement. And so this is actually quite touching. You don't. This is a sharp contrast with kind of the official messaging that's coming out of Washington right now. China is they're embracing these Americans with open arms, both at the state level and at the average people level. This is something that some of these Americans are not used to. One of the most frequent commentary I saw, they're like, I didn't know they're so nice. Like, Rednote is so nice here. Yeah, everybody's so nice.
I just put a comment up here. China trolls on Rednote. Funny said to American, why do you eat like you have healthcare? What? Oh man, guys, that is
So this
hilarious.
is one of those little exchanges. I think what prompted that comment was somebody asked, "Tell me the best American joke," and that was the response. That was the top comment. Why do you guys eat like you have free healthcare?
Isn't that great?
And
You know, I listened to the speech here today with Trump. He did say, like, okay, don't get me wrong, right? I thought I understood this guy from 2016 to 2020. I thought I had a pretty good grasp on his, we'll call it bravado, of him being, this American business guy, the art of the deal, all that kind of stuff. It was one of the first books I did read was Trump Art of the Deal. And also, he's a business guy. But today he said some stuff that didn't really resonate with me. One of them was telling me that my country is going to be the 51st state of America. Okay. Thanks for that. And I was out filming today here in China, and I had a couple of people in the car with me, and they said, how do you feel about that? And I said, well, actually, I don't. And here's the thing. I know America has been beat down over the last 4 years. It's been hard, massive increases in property taxes for people, massive increases of mortgage payments for people, inflationary issues, gas prices going up, that monthly payment going up, the salary not climbing with it, going out is, twice, maybe 3 times more, buying those things from the shop, it's spiraling out of control. I understand that. And I understand a lot of people clearly voted in November, and their voices were heard. My problem now is you have him making some pretty bold promises, but then once again, we are in for one hell of a ride here over the next 4 years if that speech is going to even 50% come true, or maybe 20% come true. First of all, renaming the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America, him going in there today in that 37-minute speech saying that, no, we're going to take back Panama Canal. Do you see the history on Panama Canal? It's pretty vicious, okay? Him saying, maybe Greenland will be good, and Canada. And everyone kind of, snickers and says, hey, it'll never happen. Canada is a sovereign country. But one word or 2 words that you should have heard him when they asked him, well, how are you going to do that without force? And he says, well, economic war. And that right there is something everybody needs to pay attention to. That word economic war can be played 2 ways here. And I want the average person to really understand when they say, well, the best way to combat competition coming from China is to throw a tax, or as they call it, a tariff on the goods. Now let's look. Who is China's competitor when it comes to, I don't know, new energy vehicles? Now the average person is going to say, well, we don't need new energy vehicles. We got gas powered cars, the infrastructure. That's okay. If you don't want to save 80%, if you're a taxi driver or a delivery driver or a municipality, and you don't want to bring that technology into the United States of America, that's fine. But I live in a city of 36 million people here in Chongqing, and I've seen this city in the last 4 years. Just a miracle has happened here. And I'm Canadian from Central Canada. Yeah, I used to love American muscle, Canadian muscle, put the petrol in the car, drive the Trans Am or the Firebird, and go out and hit the streets and cruise at night. But when I drove in my first new energy vehicle here, I didn't know it was a new energy vehicle. I actually had to get out of the back, get out of the car and go to the back and say, is there exhaust pipes on this thing? because it looked like it felt like it, or drove like it. And there's something I want to tell the viewers that most people don't understand here. You're wondering, are people being pushed into buying these cars because they're cheaper? Are they being pushed in to buy these cars because, it's Greta Thunberg over here? No. Are they being pushed into getting into these cars because they have to, or there's government incentives? No. We have a new type of car buyer here in China. And here it is. And I'm going to give it to you guys so you understand where I'm coming from. Try give an old BlackBerry to one of your kids and tell them that that's a smartphone and that's what they should use. Now, to me, of course, BlackBerry in my heart, yeah, I would use it, right? But they would say, what is this? No, I don't get, this is an old phone or whatever. The youth in China, when they get into a car now, they are looking for screen resolution, screen size, zero gravity chairs, massage chairs, ambience lighting, distant camera. Does the car have 14 micro cameras? Does it have visual road camera? Does it have autonomous driving? Does it have 800 to 1,000 kilometer range? Does it have battery swapping technology? Is it approved by CATL? Is it a certain type of battery? Does the car, can it turn from an SUV into a car into a truck? Just like, the new Chang'an E07 can. Is it a truck? Is it a car? Is it an SUV? Does it have a full screen onboard entertainment? Does it have built-in Netflix? Does it have a special screen that comes down for the passenger? Does it have noise cancellation in the car? This is what is driving the new energy vehicle market here. It's the youth, the young buyers, quote unquote, don't want dumb cars anymore. It's not about your beautiful American automobiles. Trust me, love them. This is the buyer here, and we have seen a massive shift, and that's where the market's going. Now, America, that's okay. And if your leader doesn't want you to have these cars, whatever. But I'm going to tell you, all the way down the Belt and Road Initiative, we are seeing these cars pop up in many countries in Africa. We're seeing these cars in now Norway. We're seeing them in Russia. We're seeing some of these cars, the top sales in Belarus. Keep laughing, everybody. But one by one, it happens. And you might say, well, who cares? Who cares about a smart car? How's the 4G network working out for you in America there? We're going on to 6G. And you might say, well, who cares about internet speed? 5G technology in these cars is what takes to actually drive these cars. And this type of technology can be used in other industries that require autonomous drivers, that require battery power technology, not just on the road, but also in other sectors I'm not going to get into in this conversation for various reasons. But that's where this technology is going, and it is something that we all need to wake up. I'm seeing everybody's flooding here, BYDs all into the things, and I'm going to hand it over to Carl. Am I missing something on that point, Carl, that maybe I'm just a little bit too China'd up on these new energy vehicles? Should I, or are you hearing me on this one?
Well, I mean, that's the future in China. China has mandated the electric transition. Unlike California. California had a mandate back then in, I don't know, 2000. Nobody think that was realistic. But in China, when the government want to mandate something, they make it happen. And there's many reasons why China want the electric transition. One, China imports a lot of oil. China spend like $350 billion importing oil every year. But US and all these Pentagon think tank and all these think tanks keep on talking about wanting to choke off China's oil supply at Strait of Malacca. So China plans ahead. China do not put all the eggs in one basket. So one way they do is do Belt and Road project all over the world. So there's no way U.S. can have one choke point. Another way is they're going through the electric transition, and so they will be less dependent on fossil fuels or at least imported oil, because and two is clean up the environment, because China's pollution was horrible once upon a time.
Yeah.
So I remember when I traveled to China in 2000 and 2010, in Shanghai, you could cut through the air with a butter knife. But when I went back in 2019, I was pleasantly surprised how much the air has cleaned up. And it got even better when I went back and met up with you on the Great Wall. And this is the result of them going to electric. This greatly reduce air pollution. And reduce air pollution, it helps with energy independence, because China now is also building tons of renewable energy like wind and solar. China is basically paving deserts with solar panels right now. So they're going to have a lot of power generation. Like Chinese power generation is going, like, it's really taking off compared to the United States. U.S. power generation has been stagnant for the last 20 years. So even if U.S. want electric transition, they can't. They got to build more power plants. So China was serious about making this change, and they made it happen. It was very carefully planned out. They built a lot of power generation. They incentivize companies to invest, doing research and build EVs. And this was also an opportunity for the Chinese automakers, because they always lack about 2 generations behind in internal combustion engine cars. And this is what it made the foreign brands very complacent. Up to 3 years ago, foreign brands make up 80% of the Chinese car market, which is the world's largest automobile market. GM, Ford, they were making money head over heels in China back then.
They were, yeah.
But the battery is where China dominates. China dominates the battery technology.
CATL
and BYD make their own batteries.
Yeah.
So China is like full spectrum dominance in terms of batteries, and the largest cost of the electric car is a battery. So they already have a natural advantage, and so making the switch to making EV is almost a no-brainer. And they are, like you said, they're making all these cars loaded with great features at affordable price. The consumers in China are so spoiled. I wish I'm in China, because I want to get a BYD car, but when the BYD car gets from China to Indonesia, because of tariffs and whatever, the price and the sale price in Indonesia almost double the price in China. Right, so I'm very envious. I'm waiting for BYD to open their factory in Indonesia next year, so the price will come down. But right now the Chinese consumers have it good, because there's also a big price war between all these automakers. So they're getting like $8,000 cars. Like that's almost it's not a piece of shit. The $8,000 car is a very nice car for like an entry. For like a first-time car buyer, like a fresh college grads. We're talking about BYD Seagull, right? And this is crazy. It's almost unimaginable. This is why Biden placed 100% tariffs on Chinese EVs, because like Elon Musk said himself, without tariff, all the U.S. big three will be devastated. They will be destroyed by the Chinese competition, because there's no competition. And even in Mexico, just in the last 2 years, now Chinese EVs account for about 1/3 of the new car sales in Mexico. It came from nothing. I mean, this is amazing.
Well, Carl, I mean, it's been a great night here, guys. I think, Carl, at a later time here, we need to get back into these live streams a little bit more active and fire up my audience as well. I just want to say thank you to all the iChongqing viewers as well, coming in from X platform, as well as Carl Zaw's platform. I think tonight we may have tried to actually stream to Red Note for the first time from our platform and our WeChat crowd as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some music on, guys, here. And Carl, I really appreciate you doing this on short notice. Fantastic turnout tonight, over 2,300 people on our streams. Unfortunately, I couldn't get our full integration with our iChongqing application up and firing, but I'm not sure what was happening with that. But we still had a great turnout on our Twitter account as well. I'm going to put some music on here, going to put some visuals on, and I think you and I should probably go back and answer some of these questions that people have been asking us all throughout the nights here in the back of the comment section. Do you mind doing that, Carl? Is that okay?
We can go let's there? Do it. Let's do it.
Okay, so everybody, if you're joining this again, Carl Zaw, all the information is in the links below in the descriptions. And to Carl's audience, thank you so much for showing up in such great numbers tonight. We'll see you guys backstage here. Enjoy our visuals. Carl, talk to you soon. See you later, buddy. I really appreciate you taking your time again. All right, man? Take care.
Sure.
Cheers.